Now, size and attitude matter a lot in the Indian car industry, and that is why a lot of people out there in the market like you are waiting for this one. Now, the good old Ford Endeavour was a benchmark in the segment in terms of the size, the appeal, the driving dynamics, and the overall value for money proposition. And this one is gonna make a comeback into the Indian car industry. Before I go forward, a big thanks to Saurabh from Nepal Drives and of course Geo Ford. They've given me the car for a day here in Kathmandu, Nepal to experience the beast and give you my verdict, my opinion, my driving review of what is the most awaited SUV in the Indian market. Ford definitely is going to make a comeback into the Indian industry. They might not have the smaller offerings like the Figo, Aspire or the EcoSport, but they will definitely start the innings, second innings with this one. Internationally, globally, in countries like Nepal and other countries, it's called the Everest, but in India, we all call it the Ford Endeavour. This is the new model. It's not a facelift, it's an all-new model in terms of the design, the platform, the interiors and more features on offer. Now, it's going to be a long video, but I urge you to stay with me for the entire episode to understand more about this vehicle. If you're in the market to purchase the Toyota Fortuner, hold your horses, hold on for a few months because the wait will definitely be worth it. Starting off, first of all, the attitude, the styling, the designing of the Ford Everest. Now in the video, I'll call it both the Everest and the Endeavour. This one has grown up in size. You can make out I stand 6 feet tall with the healthy build, and the SUV is definitely dwarfing me in all aspects. The front end, well, it's higher, it's wider, it's really a very, very wide car with the black color theme. It has the mafia appeal as well. This is an all new concept, all new design over here. I love the DRLs on both the ends, this one over here and on the right side, and a big American muscle kind of grille coming into the picture. Of course, we have the performance LED headlamps, 2 over here and 2 on this side, and big stacks on the grills also hinting at what this thing can do. And then look at the bonnet. It's a long bonnet with proper muscles, with proper line coming in. We Indians, we want our SUVs to be an extension of our personality. Ego matters a lot in the Indian market, and this car will give you an ego boost definitely. On this particular version in the market in Nepal, it's an import from Thailand basically. These are 20-inch alloy wheels. They are massive and the tire size is 255 millimeters in terms of width. Will the same design come to India is a question as of now, but on this particular model, it does the job very well. Everything about the Endeavour is XL size. That includes the big mirrors. You have the bi-turbo logo coming in over here. It's a bi-turbo diesel engine under the hood, and then it's a top spec titanium version, and that is what this logo also says. Now, this is a high car up the ground, and hence you have these inbuilt footsteps over here. Very handy for the elderly, for your wife, for your daughter, for your kids to get inside this massive vehicle. Once again, I stand 6 feet tall. Look at the stature of the Ford Endeavour or the Ford Everest. At the rear, well, it's another talking point. I love the execution of the rear LEDs. They remind me a lot of the Ford Mustang, and at the back you also have a glass encasing for the badging, so that adds a touch of classiness. From the rear and from the front, it looks like a beast. I love the way the Endeavour or the Everest looks like. So this is about the exteriors of the new Ford Endeavour, the Ford Everest. What about the interiors? They are all new. So let's step inside the car. Now, like the new exteriors on the outside, even the cabin of the new Endeavour or the Everest is all new. This is the Thai spec model which is on sale in the Nepal market, but for the Indian market, a few changes might happen. The design will remain same, but you might have a different theme for the colors or extra soft touch materials or leather inserts on the dashboard or on the door pads, which is needed for a premium SUV in the Indian market. Now, what is new in the new Everest or the Endeavour? This is the talking point over here. The huge vertical screen comes in over here, and the touch reception, like the earlier Ford models, is really very nice, very gentle, very soft. Below this are the rotary dials for the AC controls, for the climate control. I love the texture and the detailing on these rotary dials. Big fan of this. It's not really a flat bottom steering, but is a typical Ford steering. Feels nice to hold, feels nice to look at. This model has ADAS coming in, so the ADAS features are on the left side along with your volume buttons, and on the right side you have the controls to change on what you want to see in the full DG speedometer console coming in over here. So this thing is new. The AC vents are new. The way they're designed is completely new. And then extra brownie points in terms of practicality. For example, there is a small usable glove box coming on the upper part. There is a second glove box on the lower part. So 2 glove box design. And for your long trips, you have this. Look at this. These pop out. Again, it's something we see in a lot of SUVs. So you can keep your can or your glass on this side. To get into the mighty Everest Endeavour, you have to have these grab handles which are present on all the 4 doors. So the elderly in the family or kids or someone short in height can definitely make use of these and come on the inside. On this particular model, there is certain level of soft touch, but for the Indian model, it will definitely go up. Few things are missing in this particular spec. For example, the seats, they are powered, they are supremely comfortable, but they are not ventilated. So for the Indian market, they will be adding seat ventilation to the seats. Very, very useful, very, very helpful. Other practical aids, apart from the twin glove box design, you have place to keep a couple of mobiles over here. This is wireless mobile charging. More space to keep a mobile in a other fashion. You have a 2 cup holders with inserts to make sure they don't go away when you are driving off the road. New, short and sweet looking Germanish kind of a gear selector lever over here. It's an automatic, no physical handbrake lever, which is a norm in the industry nowadays. You have the electronic park brake coming in over here, and then the rotary dial is for the drive modes. This is a beast of the road. We have seen that numerous times in the Indian market, lot of videos, and this one will carry that further as well. So 4x2, 4x4H, 4x4L, and of course the different modes to engage the sand, the rock or the snow mode coming in. Driver's perspective, currently you can make out the amount of headroom I have. I'm not on the highest or the lowest setting. The seats are powered, and from a driver's perspective, I can see the bulges on the bonnet. Very helpful while driving this huge car in traffic conditions. The outside mirrors are XXL size, so you have a good visibility of what's happening at the back. So all 3 mirrors, and of course a surround view monitor comes into the picture to ensure that in traffic conditions you don't feel hammered in. You can easily drive this car. Seats need a special mention. No Ford branding, no Endeavour branding, but they are nice to hold a body of my size. I stand 6 feet tall with a heavy build. I'm feeling comfortable right now in the driver's perch. Few more small things. For example, if you look closely around here, you have these open vents which are finished in silver in a lighter shade. They definitely look good, and you can of course hold them. It's an American sort of a car, so to open the bonnet, the release button is on the left side. On the doors, it is a norm like a Ford car. It's not too funky, not too loud. You have the buttons to unlock and lock the doors, and of course a silver insert, aluminum insert over here near the grab handle. Cool thing is that there is no handle as such. You have to press this to open the door. I think it's a matter of time, you'll get used to it, but gives you a very, very clean look over here. You will be using this car a lot to drive with your family and friends. So from a family and friends point of view, how is the space in the second row? It's time to go there. Now this is the kind of space on offer if a tall driver is driving the Endeavour and you're equally tall. You have approximately 2 to 3 inches of knee room left over here. If I sit upright, this even increases further. There's a proper scoop also behind the drivers and the co-driver seat, so that also helps in giving me extra amount of knee room. Now the interior definitely all black on this particular model, but if Ford in India for the Indian Endeavour, they can work on some lighter materials. It will give you a sense of airiness. The sense of airiness also comes in from this huge panoramic sunroof. So sunroofs in India are not only about opening it and getting out or taking the air inside, it's also about having an airy feel on the inside. What's more, well, the AC vents are on the upper part, they are not on the middle console. Ideally, that would have helped in the Indian summers, but for now it's only on the roof. And to operate them, we have the rotary dial over here. One more plus point is that you also have an outlet of AC 230 volts. We can support up to 400 watt of a device. You can actually charge your laptops or your bigger devices on the move, and a USB and a C-type charger over there. This is a wider car than before, so it's properly wide to have 3 others coming in. But if you are only 2 sitting in over here, this armrest also has these lovely cup holders sliding out. So 2 cup holders over here and 2 up front for the driver and the co-driver. The doors also have reasonable amount of space for a proper 1 liter bottle. What else would I want in the Indian version apart from the lighter colors? It could possibly be manual sunblinds coming in, very important for the Indian summer. Like the front doors, even the rear doors have the lock unlock button. So every single door has a proper dedicated lock unlock button coming in over here. And of course the power window switches and the cool looking door handles which you basically press to open the door. The headroom you can make out because of the sunroof panel, the headroom is just about sufficient for a 6 or a 6'1" person. So my friends from Punjab, if you're wearing a turban, you are over 5'8", 5'9", the headroom could be an issue in the Ford Endeavour. All the 4 doors get the dedicated, this big muscular grab handles to get inside the car. So That's about the space and the features on the second row of the Ford Endeavour. Third row, well, let's go there as well. Well, before the third row, one more plus point, you have individual headrest coming in over here. So proper 5-seater with your headrest and of course your seat belt function as well. So safety is taken care of. This is the boot space of the Ford Endeavour. So the last row might not be for adults, but if you're 7 going for a road trip, this place can take in 2 large suitcases as well. And below this platform is another space to hide something from prying eyes. Likewise, on the left side, some more space to keep a couple of short bags and a party trick. By pressing these 2 buttons, the seats will go down in a powered fashion. Now, one small disappointment is that the new Endeavour will not offer you hydraulic struts over here. So whenever you want to access the engine, you have to lift this massive, heavy piece of metal. On the good part, this is the bi-turbo 2000cc engine. For the Thai market, Nepal market, you have 200 plus bhp of power and 500 Nm of torque coming in. But for the Indian market, it might come with the older option, the single turbo. If that happens, the power will drop to 170 PS and the torque to 420 Nm. The 10-speed automatic will be retained and of course no 4x2, only a proper 4x4 architecture coming into the Endeavour. If my guesses are right, if this can happen, if Ford can get this one, the bi-turbo, it will be the best thing. Why? Well, let's take it out for a spin. And coming to one of the most important parts about the new Endeavour, the driving experience. Now, on paper, a lot of people will think, Bunny, what can a 2000cc engine do for such a beast? Well, turbos can make a big difference. This one has got a bi-turbo setup, which means over 200 PS of power and 500 Nm of torque. One more clever part is about the 10-speed automatic gearbox. It basically picks up the right gears. It will skip gears as well. It picks up the right gear depending upon your throttle inputs, and that can make a world of a difference. In fact, since morning driving around this ghat section of Kathmandu, then inside city traffic conditions, the response is really very encouraging. I do admit, flat out, it is not as quick as what you would expect from a vehicle that could be priced between 40 to 60 lakh rupees, but about the livable daily condition driving, your commute, your highway usage, the ghat section usage, that is where path throttle response works very well from this engine. The NVH levels, the noise, vibration, harshness levels are really well under control. Of course, flat out, you can make out it's a diesel motor under the hood. What I would have wanted would be basically paddle shifters to take care of control. The manual gears are basically from the gear lever over here. It takes some time getting used to, but post that, yes, the gearbox responds very well. When you go down on the right pedal, it will easily skip 2 or 3 gears. We have seen that in the earlier Endeavour as well. So the 10-speed setup definitely helps to take out the best possible power torque combination from the 2000cc turbo diesel engine. Will India get a bi-turbo? That is a big question. My fingers are crossed on that thing. Previously, we had a single turbo setup with approximately 170 PS of power. This one, I really want Ford to go guns out and get a bi-turbo for the Indian market. In terms of ride and handling, we are on 20-inch setup, and despite that, I would say the ride quality is plus point, which has been a plus point for the earlier Endeavour as well. Of course, there is body roll, I will not deny that. It takes a lot of courage and getting used to throw this into corners. I will not do that over in Nepal, but I did take the car off the road, and that is where the comfort factor comes in. If you go slightly faster, you will be thrown around, but you do get a sense of suspension being set up for the comfort factor. Pure off-roading, something the Endeavour has always been known for. I'll not be doing that in Nepal, just to be fair, because I've got the car on special request. But yeah, off the road, it can do wonders, and India might just get the 4x4 option only. They will not be a 4x2 option. But what I'm really happy with is about the ride comfort. Secondly, perched over here, I told you earlier, the big windows, the large outside mirrors, the large inner mirror, and I can see the bulge of the bonnet easily. Gives me a lot of confidence to drive this on these narrow roads and even inside congested traffic when I was getting the car in the morning out from the dealership to this hilly terrain. So that is a plus point for drivers of all heights. Last but not the least, a car is your second home, and living with a car which is smooth, which is responsive, a car which has great looking interiors and a lot of features on offer, the overall second space feeling in the Endeavour is positive. I'm getting a lot of positive vibes sitting in the Endeavour and driving these around these ghats. Let me just throw this into a long flowing curve. Yeah, body roll is there, but if you do understand it's a long heavy beast, you will get used to it. Now, although there are no paddle shifters in the new Endeavour, there is a clever thing over here next to the gear lever. It's called the manual mode. Basically, out of the 10 ratios over here, you can control the upper limit on the gearbox. For example, if I go into the second gear as the upper limit, the SUV, the Endeavour will not go over second gear. It will become loud, of course, and you can do the same thing for the third gear as well. It will not go over third gear. Very helpful to use engine braking while coming down a slope. So out of the 10 ratios, you can pick till what ratio the gearbox will remain till. And that brings us to the end of this exclusive video from Nepal for you guys. So the big question, should the new Endeavour be coming to the Indian market? Well, yes, it's a big yes from me. I'm very sure people watching this video right now and all the Ford fans in the Indian market have been waiting for the Endeavour. As a product, it is compelling. As a product, it is very good. It's a well-rounded all-rounder with the way it looks, the interiors, the ride quality, the ease of driving, the engine and the potential on offer in terms of the off-roading abilities. Plus, the competition needs to wake up. So, all of you in the market waiting to buy the Fortuner, well, wait for a few months. This is definitely a worthy and a better alternative.